care of themselves better because now they have jobs, and the city does some stuff like that, and some other entities does some stuff like that. But what we as private businesses, we need to do stuff like that, right? And we need to build up our economics, because what if, so CAO's hiring all these people, what if somebody gets mad and wants to pull grant funding?
Right.
We business owners have to be like, oh no, that's a good program. Let's I'm gonna put 10,000 in it, you're gonna put 10,000 in it, and now the program is gonna run, right? And because we're able to support it, we have to build a community that is completely self-sufficient of anybody outside of it. So anybody outside, they're just helping. Hey, thank you. But we don't currently exist, on that level. And that's what this Black Business Bazaar is about. It's not just about vending or collecting. I mean, we charge $50 a table. That's not any money. You go to some of these vending events, you get $100, $200, $300, and you're only going to have 20 people walk through that thing. So we push, and because it's important that our neighborhood grows through economics. We're starting with food, but it doesn't end with food. Everything that we need, everything that we buy as a people, we should own. If you're going to get hair, you should get it from somebody in your community. If you're going to get your nails done, you should get it done from somebody in your community, so that money stays there. Right?
You got applause out there.
I mean, a study just came out and said that the black buying power in America is over $1.2 trillion. I think it actually went to 1.5 this year.
Yep.
Imagine if $1.5 trillion of black money, because we're the number one consumers. We've been trained to just purchase instead of actually owning. Could you imagine if that money circulated in a community?
Let me put that into a functional context for us. We have a $1.5 trillion consumer-based economy as an African people, which means that we get about $1.1, $1.2 trillion worth of income, but we only spend about $200 or so billion of that income buying stuff from other African people. The rest of that income, we end up buying stuff from other people, so the money comes to us and leaves us right away. Our dollars turn over about 1/4 of one time in our community. If we could just convince ourselves, just work with me on this. If we could just convince ourselves to buy from each other just one more time. So every time, if you spent $50 buying stuff from someplace else, try to spend 20 or 30 of those dollars buying something from you, and just do that all the time. In every purchase, find a way to spend at least a quarter of that money. Spend that money with you. If you did that, you would turn our economy from a $1.5 trillion economy into something like a $2.5, $2.7 trillion economy. There will actually be so much demand in our community for people to provide retail services for us. We would have to hire people from other communities because there won't be enough of us to be able to do all of those retail jobs. That's not counting all the managerial jobs. That's not counting all the ancillary services for insurance, for financial services, and so on. We would completely transform our communities.
Absolutely.
Why is that important? Every time the United States gets an economic cold, the African community gets tuberculosis.
Right.
Because we are so dependent on everyone else for everything.
Absolutely.
So doing what you all are talking about puts you in a position where you are in control of your own economy yourselves. So even if bad things happen in the macro economy, you still have resiliency.
Absolutely.
You can still stand.
Right. And I even think about like social ills that controlling our own economic destiny will change. So we talk about politics, right? Okay, well, if we in our businesses are supporting the people that we want to be there, they're going to be there, right? And that's a better vested interest in us.
So we got a caller that wants to talk to you about what we're talking
All right.
about. Okay, let's grab that call real quick. Hi, caller, are you there?
Yes, good morning. Good show.
Hi.
When it comes to our people being healthy, I would like for us to think about how clean is this ice cream? These portable trucks are coming through our neighborhoods. I worked in the hospitals for years, and a lot of people don't think about what are these people doing when it comes to like washing hands after using the bathroom? And so if you aren't careful, we have a whole lot of new diseases out there. So we should avoid those trucks. And this is an excellent idea. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's a very great point. In fact, I just read something this past weekend about listeria, which is a bug that all of us come in contact with, but our immune systems are such that we generally don't have a problem with it. But if you have any compromise in your immune system, listeria can turn into something that overwhelms your body, and it can take you off the planet. And listeria is everywhere. It's in standing water, it's on counter surfaces, and so on. We have to learn how to govern ourselves, right? Yeah. Maybe we spend less time, on Grape Street, trying to shoot people, and spend more time washing our hands and maybe getting a job and going to sleep at night, and stop arguing with people over, ridiculous stuff like, who controls, who gets to walk down what street. Why are we doing that?
Right.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. It's like we're causing. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, right? Hurt people. When you're beaten and you're
broken communities.
You want to get power in some way. You want to feel worthy in some way. And this is another reason why we're doing this co-op. This is an us thing. This is a family thing. And we need to work together and see something work when we work together.
All right, we have another caller hanging on. Let me grab that call real quick. Hi, caller, are you there? Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, how you doing? I was just wanting to know, because somebody, I'm not going to say on the radio, could you address the slow roll? Every time you look around, you got a bunch of people everywhere. Maybe you got one or two blacks blending in with them. Coming to your community, are they looking for houses up here in this area? I mean, what's down Jefferson? If you go out that way, they'll probably call the cops on you. So I just want to know, because somebody addressed that for me, and I'm going to hang up and listen to the program.
Say what you want. Say your question, just bluntly again, just say your question.
The slow roll, what's going on? Like you see all these people riding through the community and everything. What's going on with that?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to hang up and I'm going to listen to the program and I'm enjoying it. Because I remember Mother Doyle was going to say something about it. Here, I say maybe over a month ago, but I think the guys ran out of time.
Yeah.
That was on a Saturday. I wish somebody addressed that.
Okay,
and I thank you and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're going to address that, but we have to take a hard break for a commercial, and then we're going to get into that right after the break. So
okay, and I'm going to hang up after that.
Great.
And thank you.
Thank
and you're
you.
right about 4th of July. I'm so awkward about it, too. If you really think about it. What's to celebrate? Okay, but thank you.
You're most welcome.
Okay, have a good one. God
Thank
bless.
You. God bless.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All right, so you all stick with us. We will sit aside of the break here at Living Right Now.
Do you want to increase your home's value? Do you want to lower your energy bills? Are you in need of affordable financing for your next home improvement project? The CAO Home Improvement Resource Program can help. Just come to their monthly HIRP orientation session every second Wednesday of the month at 564 Dodge Street, Building 400. HIRP staff will help identify the resources you need to get financed, and they'll even help you with completing your application. You won't know what you qualify for until you call them today at 881-6543. That's 881-6543. Learn about all the home improvement programs you may be eligible for and ask about the affordable financing program that can help turn your house into your dream home. Call 881-6543 for more info. It's the Home Improvement Resource Program, restoring value to neighborhoods across Erie County, one house at a time. Brought to you by the Community Action Organization of Erie County.
Hang on real quick. Do you have a caller hanging on? All right. Let me take this call, and I'm going to try to bridge those two questions at the same time. Let me grab that call real quick. Hi, caller. Are you there?
Yes. Hello, Mr.
Hi,
Hare.
hey, Mother Dora. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. There's some music playing. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you great.
Okay, yes. I wanted to ask Mr. Wright. I don't think he said where the Black Business Bazaar, where is it going to be held? And was that July 14th?
Yes, ma'am. It's July 14th.
Where?
It's going to be at the Johnny B. Wiley Stadium.
You know what? His voice is kind of different.
Yeah, it's going to be at the Johnny B. Wiley Stadium over on Best and Jefferson.
Okay, that's not far from me. And the time?
Right, and it's going to be from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
Okay. All right. I'm glad to hear that. You know, regarding the slow roll, some people have a theory, and my son especially, that they're scoping out territory. This is his opinion. He said, "Ma, they're coming through. They're looking for places to buy, places to live." Now, this is his theory, and I've heard other people say that as well. And I also heard people say, because they just built a hockey rink. I don't know if you were aware of it.
Yeah, like Ferry in some place. Yeah.
Right there. Yeah, right off of East Ferry.
Right.
On DuPont, someone told me about it, so I went.
The Buffalo
now they
Sabres
also,
have been doing
it's almost
that.
finished.
Right. Yeah.
And they
the
have
Pagulas are doing
scoreboards
that.
up.
Right.
And you can see the scoreboards right from Ferry. When you come down Ferry, right past St. Luke's.
Yep.
Now, I don't know the theory behind it. I don't know. Although black people do have a history in hockey.
No, I think the Pagulas are trying to build not only a sphere of interest or a space in the African community. They're also looking for the possibility that over the next 8-10 years, they're going to draw some talent from the African community as they get people kind of into the idea of playing hockey and ice skating.
Well, we'll wait and see the result. Now, I'm going to tell you something interesting about the slow roll.
Uh-huh.
I got a phone call from the director, and they've asked me to speak this evening. They're going to do slow roll down Ferry, Maston. They're going all the way down. So they've asked me to speak. Now, the slow roll starts at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
They start right on time, so I have to be there at 6 o'clock. But the reason they asked me, they want me to talk about the Freedom Wall.
Okay.
Which is right there on East Ferry in Michigan.
Right.
Now, I don't turn down any invitations when I get a chance to talk about black history.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be there, and I'll be speaking for about 15 or 20 minutes. But the curious thing about the slow roll is this. They don't go into the suburban communities, if you notice that, because I asked the gentleman about that. They mostly stay in our community, Bailey, Maston, Michigan, Ferry, and I think that's very interesting. So I don't know. I'm interested to hear what you think about it, and Mr. Wright as well. But I will be there at 6 o'clock, and I will give them a whole lot of black history.
All right. That's
okay,
good
thank
to
you,
hear.
Mr. Hare.
Thank you, Mother Doyle. So, Felicia, I'm going to drop that ball on your lap to talk a little bit about this slow roll thing.
So, to my knowledge, the slow roll is an initiative regarding health information, regarding more, less cars on the streets, just kind of helping the community know more about what it is to be a cyclist.
Mm-hmm.
And they pick different communities to go through just to not only enlighten, but because a lot of members of the East Side say, well, nothing good happens over here. We don't have people coming through here. And then when people do come through, then it's, are they trying to take our territory?
We're suspicious. Right?
We're a little suspicious.
Right.
So I think that actually it's a wonderful question. I think it's good that we're informed about what is happening in our communities, but I also think that that's a huge piece of why the African Co-op exists.
Right.
Because if we have ownership of things, then we don't have to be suspicious when people come and try to bring things into our communities.
And we do a program called Kitty Kickstand with the slow roll. So we have youth. We train entrepreneurs when they do their mass-ups. So they sell water, they sell fruit, they sell candy, they sell all this kind of stuff. And our kids learn cost-benefit analysis. They learn how to balance books. They learn how to be entrepreneurs through sort of that partnership. So instead of saying, okay, well, who are you? What are you doing? We said, okay, what could we do?
Absolutely.
How can we benefit from all these thousands of people coming through our neighborhoods? And I think that's what we have to do as a community. If they're coming through, because then that tells you what interests are, right?
Yeah.
So if you establish your business, say, okay, slow roll's coming in, you know what, I do bike wheels.
Right.
I do stickers. I sell helmets.
Yes.
Those are opportunities for us as a business. And if they're coming through the neighborhood, now if we do that and then we don't get any patronage from all these thousands of people coming through, then I think you say, whoa, okay, this is what it is. But we have an opportunity with all these things that are coming now. If we have a business mind and we stand up and start controlling some of this economy that's coming to our neighborhoods.
So I read another article. You know, I'm the godfather of reading articles and whatnot, right? This was written by a woman named Margot Sanger Katz, writing for the New York Times. Interesting paradigm that she talks about. The article's title was "Giving the Poor Easy Access to Healthy Food Doesn't Mean That They Will Buy It."
True.
Now, the paradigm in this article is that we always talk about what it is that we say that we want to take place in our own, various colonies. But when somebody puts the thing that we say we want in our colony, we don't support it.
Right.
But it's about conditioning.
Right.
Exactly with the slow roll. How many of us actually own bicycles? How many of us are cyclists? Our community, unfortunately, doesn't promote a lot of healthy eating, healthy living because of what we had access to. So if we're conditioned to go to McDonald's, go to the Chinese food restaurant, go to things that are super local for just quick eats, then that's what we train our generations to do.
It's funny. You just hit another point that came up in another piece of the research where they talked about if you put a grocery store or a supermarket in a low-income area, the low-income people, even though they now have walking distance access to better food, will still buy the same low-nutrition, high-cost food that they were buying before. And they go so further. They said if you take a person who lives in who's poor but lives in a wealthy community, the poor person will buy food the same way poor people in poor communities buy food. And conversely, if you take a middle-income person or upper-income person who physically lives in a low-income community, they will leave their low-income community and go to an upper-income community and buy good food. They won't buy the poor people food.
It's mentality.
So, exactly. So we are sort of conditioned into something that we're not even making decisions.
Right.
There's a paradigm you and I talked about that you become what you hear.
Right.
So if all you're hearing around you are, let's gather over at this fast food place, let's get this fast food, let's do this, let's do that, that's what you're constantly hearing. You start doing it, you make decisions without even knowing that you're making a decision. You just automatically do it.
And I think one of the biggest difference is people who eat well sometimes are like badgering people who don't eat well. So then people are like, oh, I'm not going to do that. No one ever forces anybody to eat McDonald's.
Right.
And no one says you better, if you don't eat McDonald's, you're stupid. Or if you eat, you're not woke, you're not conscious. So we get some of that. We get people who do understand the importance of eating well. The way the message is relayed sometimes isn't conducive to the hearing. I think what we have to do is same marketing plan. We have to open up, do well, have enough examples of people eating well, and have a space like community forums on Facebook and things like that to where that becomes part of the culture. And we have to just do it in that same stealthy, cool way that makes you want Cheetos. No one ever said, go get Cheetos right now. You just saw a Cheeto here, a Cheeto there.
Right.
You smelled it a little bit over here, and before you knew it,
You
and
had
I
Cheetos
think
in your hand.
right, and this is right, and it's the same way we do healthy food.
Right.
We start eating well here. We start plugging it in with little leagues. Talking to the coaches, saying, hey, you want healthy athletes. Let's make sure that the young men, the young ladies come over here and get some fruits and vegetables. And we just start making that part of that culture and branding it. And especially when you think about it from a perspective of people from African descent, you're going to want to be part of this store because it's a part of you, part of your community, and you're going to want to eat well and eat well before the doctor says you have diabetes.
Right.
And so, in context then, what you want to do is make being an African, living an African life, make eating good food a part of the definition of living an African life.
Yes.
So that if you're eating stuff that's not good food, you're doing something that's not African. I'm not saying it's illegal, but you're doing something that's not African. And I think if we kind of begin to brand the behavior and the choices around what is intrinsic in the culture, it'll become easier to make this more widespread, within the population. And we're talking about saving people's lives. The research talks about education is a much higher predictor of how people make food choices than income. Income really, although income is a factor, it's nowhere near as much a factor as education is. So we've got to do just what you were talking about. We have to work really hard from a lot of different venues to communicate and educate to people what are the reasons, what are the best choices you can make, and what are the reasons for those choices, so that people begin to revisualize how they see themselves. So all these people that run around talking about I'm black, well, part of being black is eating right. That may not sound black, but boy, it feels black.
That's right.
You get to stay on the planet for a much longer period of time. So listen, we got 2 minutes. Oh, we got a caller hanging on? All right, let me grab that call real quick, and then we got to get back and make sure people know about the Black Bazaar. Caller, how you doing? Caller, how you doing there?
Good morning, Brother Nate here. This is Brother Sinclair calling. How you guys
Brother
doing?
Sinclair, good to hear from you, man.
Good, good. I would like, first of all, I'd like to commend the conversation that you guys are having. But, me being a person from New York City and been up here for years, whatever the case may be, I think the biggest reason why we're not ahead in the game when it comes to being landlords, owners, whatever the case may be, because for some strange reason within ourselves, we don't have the wherewithal on trying to put money together, because for some strange reason it's as if we don't trust each other to lend each other money to buy businesses. So the mindset and this trend has been going on for years, years and years, what you think is supposed to happen? Everybody else sneaks up under us, okay, buy businesses, get tax write-offs, whatever the case may be. But then when it comes to the Afro-American community, we can't get those same privileges for some strange reason. And I really think that, the young man, I saw him at the Juneteenth parade, I really like the concept that he had, but the problem is we are our own worst enemies when it comes to putting our money together. All the other cultures do it, but when it comes to ourselves, for some strange reason, we just can't do it. I mean, I'm game for anything that's going to help us out.
Well, you
that's
know
my
what they
comment.
say. Thanks, Brother Sinclair. And the core is, Mao Zedong used to have a saying. He says that a 1,000-mile journey begins with a single step.
Yeah.
And so what we have to do is to accept the fact that not all of us, in fact, not even many of us, are going to jump on the bandwagon of doing what is in our own self-interest immediately. For the same reasons that Felicia just said, you are what you hear. So because you keep hearing different things, you become those different things that you hear. So what we have to do is change what people are hearing. So that starts with a single voice, then it becomes 5 voices, then it becomes 26 voices, and we have to keep on doing this until we grow it. We can't give up, because that's the other side of it, right? I mean, if we just say, man, we're just knucklehead people, and we can't do better. If that's the case, we're not going to win. We have another caller hanging on. Let me grab that call real quick. Hi, caller, are you there?
Oh, yes. Mr. Hare, this is Miss Doyle
Yes,
again.
Mother Doyle, sure.
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you.
I forgot to tell you, they're going to have a table for me at the Freedom Wall.
Okay.
And I'm going to be selling my books. Mr. Wright, I'm combining my business, selling my books, and talking about Black history. I just wanted to share that.
That's awesome.
All right.
All right.
Yep. And on that note, you guys make sure you come down to the Black Business Bazaar. It's July 14th at the Johnny B. Wiley Stadium, 1100 Jefferson Avenue, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to have over 30 black vendors there. You can also get your fruits and vegetables. You're going to buy in for the co-op. You have until this Saturday to put your order in and have it ready. But we're also going to have a mobile market of just random fresh fruits and vegetables there for you as well. We want to get 1,000 people walking in. We want these black entrepreneurs to leave with nothing but their tables. And everybody who's talking about Wakanda this, I said this at a thing, at the Dance with the Stars thing on Friday. I said a lot of people talk about Wakanda forever, but if you don't invest in your economics, you're only talking about Wakanda tonight or Wakanda when it's convenient, right? So it's time to jump out of our comfort zones and really put our money where our mouth is, and don't talk about black this and black that. Don't complain about gentrification. Don't complain about what's happening if you're not going to put your dollar into the hands of your brother or your sister so it can circulate.
Now, we're not asking you to buy produce that's got blisters on it, you know.
Right.
No,
and
it's
greens.
A1.
Right. It's
I
A1
know.
produce,
The
right?
best peaches I've ever had in my life.
See, so that, I mean, just so you understand, we're not talking about buying lower quality.
Right.
Or you buying lower quality. You're going to buy the best quality, but you're going to buy it, if you do what we're talking about, you want to buy it from each other. Right. And if we buy it from each other, then we'll be able to employ each other. We'll be able to buy from each other. We'll be able to distribute to each other. We'll be able to insure each other. We'll then begin to have place-based businesses as opposed to tabletop businesses, you know, and that sort of thing. One of the things that this woman named Mary Stennis Wilborn, who writes for the Cooperative Grocer Network, you know, when I do my research, I go to the people that say they know what they're talking about, right? And what they say is that one of the things you have to get done is you have to get the market base that you're trying to appeal to, you have to get them to become attached to you.
They have to buy in.
Right.
Absolutely.
See, so that means you've got to make a decision that if I buy something that's good quality and I buy it from my own people, I'm actually helping me personally. This is doing something for me personally.
Yes.
So that you have an attachment to your business purchase. You have an attachment to acquiring goods and services from your own people. If you do that, you'll find that this velocity of money, the turnover, how dollars turn over in your community,
it brings traction.
They talk about I talked to you before about the situation happened in the Black Wall Street area of Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? And everybody talks about, we got to go in just a second, but everybody's talk about, you know, the destruction and whatnot. But a dollar turned over in that community 36 times.
That's right.
Highest dollar velocity any place in this country in a recorded history. Thanks, folks. We'll see you all next week, July 14th, Johnny B. Wiley, from 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We will see you there. Black Business Bazaar. See you all next week here at Living Now.